Everyone. We now start with item 5, the Triennial Water Management Zone Committee update. I'd like to welcome the Water Management Zone Committee chairs and deputies who will give us a 15-minute presentation on their activities. Banks Peninsula, we've got Gina and Trudy. Christchurch West Melton, we've got Annabelle and Mike, and Sal and Waihora, Les and Matt. So welcome whichever way you want to do it.
Good morning. I'm Gina Weibel from the Banks Peninsula Water Zone Committee. Thanks for hearing from us today. I'll take the report as read and we'll focus mainly on catchment groups today. Over the last few months, the Zone Committee has learnt more about catchment groups and the support that is available to them, such as through the New Zealand Landcare Trust and the Y Connection program. This was initiated by Zone Committee member and local farmer Ben Manson, and very much supported by the committee. We feel catchment groups are a good way to effectively support landowners to make improvement to their properties and management practices that will improve water quality. Catchment groups are often effective when they're community-led, with their goals and objectives developed by the group, while still being able to draw support and funding from councils and other organisations. In addition, the committee have in the past felt that focusing our resources on a small number of catchments will be more effective, as we've previously been concerned about projects being too small and piecemeal if they're scattered across the peninsula, especially as water quality improvements are often not realised unless the whole waterway is looked after, kia ora ki tai, from the mountains to the sea. We're also aware that the best buy-in from landowners often comes from word of mouth and by developing relationships one-on-one with landowners, and this is difficult to do when few staff are spread thin over a large area. The committee feel that Wairīwa, Little River, is a good catchment to work on because a number of large landowners are interested in taking part. The Wairīwa Runanga are on board working with them in partnership, and it's an active, close-knit community which already has a large number of community-driven initiatives such as the Okuti River Restoration Project and the Living Streams Community Nursery. And the catchment is important, with Te Roto or Wairīwa, Lake Forsyth, being the only large lake on Banks Peninsula. Wairīwa has previously been identified as a priority catchment by the Zone Committee. The lake is one of the most degraded large lakes in the country, and significant work has been done with the canal opening of the lake, as well as significant ongoing work on stabilising and reshaping, planting the banks of the main tributaries, removing willows both to reduce flooding in Little River Township and to reduce phosphorus-rich sediment flowing into the lake. Water quality is improving, but it is still classed as very poor. It is for these reasons that the Water Zone Committee are strongly supporting the new Whakaora Aitiwai Te Pātaka catchment group in Little River. Today I'd also like to thank Council for your continued support of the committee and in passing resolutions this year supporting investigations to improve water quality for contact recreation or swimmability in Whakaraupo, Littleton Harbour. These recommendations included investigations of the stormwater network in Corsair Bay and supporting reviews of signage at beaches and the Lawa website. You will have seen from our reports over the year that this has been a significant focus for us, and in recent months community engagement campaign has been running to help the community understand simple actions that they can help take to reduce pollution in waterways. I'd also like to thank Council for passing resolutions relating to erosion and sediment control, including working more closely with ECAN staff, developing a remediation action plan with best practice approaches for building sites, considering changes to the building site inspection program, and developing a holistic Port Hills management plan. Lastly, I'd like to welcome the new Te Hapu o Ngāti Wheki Rapaki representative, Amber Moak. And I'd also very much like to thank Shelley Washington for her contribution to the committee over the past 5 years. She's been a fantastic facilitator and we'll be sad to see her go, but wish her all the best in her new role as manager for the Rod Donald Trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Fields.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, Gina. Got it. Just on Ben's project in Wairewa, so just for my own clarity and for other councillors, so as I understand it, it needs. It doesn't have any money at the moment tagged to it, right? So, like he asked for a $60,000 sort of seed funding, effectively, as I understand it.
So we've recently allocated our action plan budget, which was $75,000 for this year. It wasn't able to be included in our report in the agenda because of timing, but that decision has now, I think, been approved. And so we have allocated $58,000 to that project.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Because it would be hugely important. I mean, that lake really needs some TLC, so that's really, really encouraging to hear that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Right. So we... you're fine, thank you. Just need more water. Hey, Annabelle.
Okay, kia ora, I'm Annabelle Husmanahau, and I'd just like to introduce Claire Fletcher, who many of you probably know, who is Piper, sorry, who is a community member on the Zone Committee, so thank you. So I'm just really just want to highlight the focus points for the committee since we last met, and they've been very busy. And our key focus, as Gina has said, has been around erosion and sediment control and soil conservation. And we've had sort of joint learnings and sharing of information with Banks Peninsula Zone Committee and Whakaora Healthy Harbour. And it's great to see the progress that City Council and ECAN are making around the resolutions that we've put forward. And as Gina said, there's been a huge positive development with the remediation action plan through the City Council, so thank you for that. And also we've had a presentation around the SCAR program, which ECAN runs with MPI, or with soil conservation and revegetation in North Canterbury. And we've made a recommendation that ECAN and City Council should look at implementing a similar program for the Port Hills. Dr. Helen Rutter is a committee member, and she gave a presentation of the effects of shallow groundwater and the predicted impacts of climate change. We're going to have groundwater levels rising with sea level rise. There'll be saltwater intrusion and into tidal zones. And there could be also summer low flows in streams and effects on our springs as well. And Helen really stressed the point that we need to monitor. We need to know what's going on, understand what's going on with ground level waters for the health of our urban waterways. In September, we had a hui around the Community Waterways Partnership, and this was a great opportunity to launch the Pick Up 5 campaign, which was developed with the Mother of All Cleanups and Community Waterways Partnership. If everyone was out on a walk and picked up 5 bits of rubbish at the time, what a difference it would make. And so this was great graphics and a great message that's been picked up by community groups. We also looked at the ECAN do a regional stormwater awareness campaign, and we looked at what are the barriers to other community groups and making that being picked up and really implemented, so trying to get that across the region and everyone behind those campaigns. And Zach Dormer from Lincoln University also gave a presentation on some research that's been done around encouraging first-time volunteers and how you encourage people to volunteer and how you maintain those volunteers. And I think in Christchurch we actually have pretty amazing volunteers, and there's not such an issue, but it's still great tips around that. We have had, many of you were there, so thank you, the Stormwater Superheroes Award, and this was a really successful event in November, and it really highlighted the excellent practice with businesses and land developers around managing their stormwater that's happening out there already. And I just want to say a huge thank you to the City Council and especially to the Mayor, Phil Major, for being there and making it a great occasion and presenting the awards. And I also want to thank Councillor Tim Scandrett for the early conversation and to get ideas and to get help support get things running for the Zone Committee. So thank you everyone for that. it's a real opportunity to showcase business, and I think it's something that we've now got a template that needs to be expanded and supported, and from a whole lot of different agencies. So I think this is something going forward for the City Council and for other agencies to look at supporting and creating a bigger event. We've been involved in the ECAN Regional Policy Statement engagement, and the Zone Committee has been involved in the second round of consultation for this integrative planning framework. This is a huge task, and but the conversations have been around climate change actions, freshwater vision, the main environmental issues of biodiversity, mahingakai and biosecurity. And we also, the Regional Policy Statement will help guide the development of the City Council's Healthy Waterways Action Plan for our 5 city catchments. So we really need to create that linkage of what's going on in these two processes. We have revised our action plan, and we distributed our action plan budget, and a focus became more around climate change in our action plan and pathogens in our waterways. And we allocated our $75,000, and we had a total of $213,000 wanting dollars for that. So it just shows the importance of that, being able to allocate that. And I just want to say, Meri Kirihi Mete. I've said that correctly.
Good work.
Meri Kirihi Mete. And just you all have a very happy Christmas and a safe holiday with your families. And yeah. So thank you.
Thank you very much. That's
and
great.
I do actually, just before I go, want to recognise Shelley Washington and the huge support and what a great zone facilitator she has been for us. So it'll be a sad loss.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
You have a good Christmas too.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got Liz, is it?
Matt
I'm out, right.
and Marie that many of you
Okay,
know.
Marie, how are you?
Kia ora.
You're
I just want to start off with some sad news. We just want to wish the acknowledgement of the passing of last week of Dr. Benita Wakefield, who was on the Wairia Runanga, and our representative on the Selwyn Te Waihora Zone Committee. Benita represented Wairia Runanga on the CDMS committees for several years, as well as being on the Selwyn Zone Committee. She was the previous chair and member of the Banks Peninsula Zone Committee and the CWMS Regional Committee. She contributed significantly to the CWMS targets, committee mahi and priorities as well, benefiting greatly from her passion, personality, immense intellect and drive. The Selwyn Zone Waihora Zone Committee is at a loss with her passing, and we send our sympathies to her whānau and to Wairia Runanga. So myself and Marie, we're going to tag team this today. What we're going to try to concentrate on is parts of the catchment that are probably most of interest to you. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Selwyn Whanakere first. So over the last 6 months, we've had a number of presentations from local schools and Central Plains Water around the mahi they're doing around in our catchments. It was actually really pleasing that they came on the boat on the same day, and they actually made connections with each other, where Central Plains was able to provide some additional funding to Green Dame Primary. One of our kind of priority outcomes that we're seeking is kind of building catchment groups in the area, and there's a number already established, but we're looking to kind of help out and facilitate another committee up in Glen Tunnel. And recently we held a community meeting with those members, with those community members, which was particularly well attended.
So I'm here before you on wearing a different hat. I'm Christchurch City Council representative to the committee, and so I'll talk to you about the areas where, which is within the zone committee boundary, but within Christchurch City area. And so we've got the Te Ara Kakariki Kids Discovery Plant Out Day in the Huritini Holswell catchment. This is a committee-funded project. And so now we have about 400 seedlings planted along the Huritini Holswell Awa Atemotu Huritini o Ahuriri site. This one was our ECAN councillor Vicky Southworth and committee member James Booker attended this event. And students have been working at this site since 2017. The event is also supported by Enviro Schools. Matt Stanford from Enviro Schools taught the students how mana resources, how Mana Whenua would use the waterways and wetlands in the area to source kai and resources and use mokihi to navigate the waterways. Students made their own rafts using korari or harakeke stems, harakeke and toothpicks. The next one is we have the workshop for a Hurutini Holswell bus trip. Last October, we had a workshop held to discuss hosting a Hurutini Holswell bus trip at Knightstream School. So just a correction on that first bullet point. It's not Knightsbridge, but it's Knightstream School. And it was well attended by stakeholders and interested parties, including Christchurch City Council and Selwyn District Council staff. The aim of the workshop was to engage parties with an interest in the catchment and come up with a collective purpose for the bus trip. It was concluded that a Hurutini Holswell stakeholder bus trip is required to understand the current context, create and tell the story of the Holswell River catchment. The next step is for us to draft up a plan for the bus trip to happen in the new year. And of course, councillors and relevant Christchurch City Council and Selwyn District Council staff will be involved and invited to attend the bus trip.
And like all the other zone committees that presented today, we had $75,000 that we have recently allocated, and you can read on the screen and in the paper who we provided money to. I'm just going to highlight two. One was the Aquatic Bugs Bags project, which is working with Waterway Centre and Enviro Schools to create additional microinvertebrate habitat within the Selwyn River. And the second one is around providing some funding for the bus stocktake bus trip that Maria just discussed, and with the aim of understanding the current context, creating and telling the story of the catchment and understanding what the next steps are for the catchment. And that will hold it there.
Turn that on. That is absolutely brilliant. Sorry, we're just playing around with a bit of stuff up here. So thank you very much for coming in. It's always good to hear exactly what's going on around the Water Zone Committee. So I've got two. I'll do Councillor Johansson, then Councillor Cotter. We're a wee bit over time, but it's important that we hear it, what was happening.
Yeah, great. It's a very quick question. Thank you to all the committees for the reporting back, and I really appreciate the fact that you're reporting back against our Canterbury Water Management Strategy targets. But one thing I note is that those targets should be, or that strategy should be up for monitoring in 2023. Do you know when the new updated report back on meeting those targets is?
I don't know, sorry, but I'm sure we can find out and send an answer back.
Right. And I mean, a kind of general question is, are the zone committees happy with progress against those targets?
I think, that's quite a difficult question to answer on the spot. And I guess the honest answer is probably yes and no. I mean, we're tracking well in some places and in some others, like water quality and changes in stream ecology, probably not. Right. And that's probably true for a large part of Canterbury Plains.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Councillor Cotter.
Just quickly, I loved your last slide, the Farmers' Curiosity Day, actually. That was really cool.
Yes.
Because I think farmers need to be recognised for the efforts that they're making to up the game.
Yeah.
But are you presenting to Environment Canterbury as well?
Yes, we do.
You
yes.
do?
And so on.
All of them?
Yep.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you, all three of your groups. Thank you. Right, the wee change round that we're just going to have now, because we've got two councillors that need to just shoot out for something. So we'll bring number 9, Better Off Funding for Ferrymead Heritage Park, up now.
We need to receive those reports.
Mover and seconder just to receive.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Need to move. Yeah, thank you, Councillor Scandrick, Councillor Cotter. All those in favour? Do you want to debate it?
No, just very quickly. Can we just get a noting provision to seek advice on when those targets, when the 2023 target refresh is going to...
Yeah. Cool. I've got a note.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, so all those in favour? Against? Thank you. Carried. Right.
Just, Mayor Phil, I took no part just make it noted. I took no part.
Fair enough, too. Thank
Own
you.
shares in steam trains. Oh, sorry.
So, righto,
I
we're
heard him
going.
say we were doing ferry meat. Confusing.
No, we are going to item 9 right now.